listeners, and welcome to the darkness. How's everybody doing this day, evening, afternoon, whatever the case may be? You know, some people fear the darkness because you can't see in it. Some people are scared of it because they don't understand it. Some people run from it because they fear it so much. Why not take the darkness? Why not embrace it? Why not allow it to become a part of you, to become your crucible, your cocoon? Why not envelop it? Let it wrap you, let it surround you, let it embrace you, let it push, twist, and turn you in to the person that you were meant to be. You see, pain is not a tool to hurt you. Pain is actually a tool to help you. It molds you, it shapes you, it changes you from a stoppable person to an unstoppable person, from a breakable person to an unbreakable person. It forms you in, not only into a monster, but it forms you into a creative genius. Flawless, creative genius. Think about it. When you're shrouded in mist, when you're shrouded in darkness, the only person that you could hear is yourself. The only person that you could see is you. The only person that you can listen to is your own thoughts and your own ideas and your own feelings. And you know what you find out later on? In the midst of all of that darkness, in the midst of all of that chaos, do you know what you really find out? You find out you don't really need anybody. It's the people that need you. It's the people that want you. It's the people that crave your attention. It's the people that crave you. That's who it is. Do you understand what true darkness is? True darkness is embracing who you really are, who you really want to be, who you choose to be, without rules, without guidelines, without looking up to people and saying, am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? Am I doing this right? No. You do what it is you will to do, regardless of what people say or think about you. Because guess what? In your mind, there are no rules. In your mind, there are no excuses for failure, only success. And you get to decide what limits you make it. You get to decide how far you really want to push it. Do you want to just leave it at mediocrity? Or do you want to push it to external limits that you have never gone before? Think about it. You could always bend over and be everybody's yes man and be, oh, I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do this. I'll do that. But at the end of the day, what are you? What are you really? A hungry dog that has been chained up and starved for weeks, for months on end. And then when you finally break those chains off, and when you finally say, look, I've had enough. Then and only then do you decide to do something about it. Welcome to the darkness, everyone. Think about it. The best way to handle the darkness is to open your eyes and embrace it. Let it be a part of you. Let it be your cocoon. And when you come out of that cocoon, you become an unstoppable force, an unbreakable force, a force that no one can change, that no one could ever get to ever again. Yeah, but think about this. When the lights are off and all is quiet, who do you really hear? Who do you really see? You really see you and yourself looking back at you. Do you ever wonder how many people yell, how many people scream at you every single day? How many people berate you every single day? How many people think and tell you that you're not good enough? How many people say that you're never going to make it, that you're never going to make the grade, that you're always going to be a pile of nothing? But do you know what I say to that? I say they're just believing their own hypocritical bullshit. Because we all have potential here. We all do. And guess what? When you take all that pain and all that hurt and all that naysaying, guess what? You embrace who you really are on the inside. You embrace it. You take it in, you breathe it in, and you become an animal, a creature that is unstoppable, that is unbreakable, that is unmovable. And it doesn't matter what people say or do. You are still you, and you are unchangeable. Period. You're just new disciples here on this channel. All of you are new. But guess what? Why not all of us be unbreakable together? Why not all of us be unstoppable together? Why not all of us stop these fucking naysayers that say we're not good enough, that say we're never going to make it, that say we're never going to do anything in our lives? You know what I say? Bullshit. Bullshit. Because guess what? I don't think I'm that way. I don't feel I'm that way. I don't know I'm that way. Because I know for a fact that I'm not. Because I'm better, stronger, and smarter than any of these people put together. Because guess what? I have something that they want. I have something that they are jealous for. I have something that they're willing to risk everything just to have. And you know what I have that no one else has? I have the unbreakable will, the unbreakable force to keep going. Think about this. Go ahead, think you think I'm a crazy man. You know what? Guess what? Crazy is good. Crazy is the in thing to be. Because guess what? You know, in the what do you call it? In the height of madness comes intelligence. In the peak of craziness, when you're feeling your lowest that you could possibly get, that's when you get the best ideas. That's when you get the best motivation possible. And you know what that does? It shoots you way over the top. So that's what I'm saying. And just remember, madness is like gravity. All it needs is a little push. And you go into realms and levels that you would never, ever comprehend. You should do that one time. Shut off all the lights in your house. Let it be all quieted down. Shut off all the lights in your house. And just sit there for a while. Listen to the sounds of your own thoughts, your own feelings, and realize just how alone but not alone you really are. And then that is when you embrace the greatest thing in the world, the greatest thing that life has to offer, which is freedom from the rules of society and the prison of your own mind set that you have been in from the cradle. See, people feed you with lines of, oh, you'll do good if you do this. You'll do good if you do that. You'll do good if you do this. Well, what if you don't want to? What if you don't want to do all that? What if you don't want to live by society's rules? What if you don't want to be a part of society? What if you don't want to adhere to rules? What if you want to just, I don't know, make up your own as you go along? Isn't that a sign of freedom? Isn't that a sign of avoiding the mediocrity? Wouldn't you agree? Think about it. Society is the one that brought you here tonight. You are in here because you chose to be in here. You are in here because your choices brought you into this channel, brought you into this chat, brought you into this stream. And so therefore, the choice you have to make for yourself. Where do you want to go from here? Do you want to sit here and listen to a supposed madman? Or why not create your own personality? Why not create your own persona? Why not create your own vibe, your own feeling, your own little world. Why not be a creator? Why not create something so astounding and so like altering that nobody can stop you at it? Nobody can say you're not good enough. Nobody can say you're not going to make the grade. Nobody can say that you are a pathetic loser. Because guess what? All those naysayers that say you're not good enough, that you're all this and all that, well, guess what? At the end of the day, they're just naysayers. They're just people. Like I said, I was born of the darkness, that upon which you guys will never, ever fully understand. See, I was born in a different way. I was born in a world where you had to rely on yourself. Otherwise, you were going to get eaten alive by life and by people that do not think or do not roll with the same options and the same things that you roll. That's why I say, instead of being afraid of the darkness, instead of running away from it, instead of thinking that it's no good, thinking that, oh my God, this is unbearable. Why not take steps to make it bearable? Why not embrace what you have? Why not utilize every opportunity that you can to make yourself better, faster, smarter, and stronger? Because you know where the really true competition is. You know who your biggest competitor is every single day of your life. Look at the one in the mirror. That one is always going to be better, faster, stronger, and smarter. And it's always going to be competing with you every single day of the week. What you have to decide on, am I going to let it win? Am I going to let it win this battle? Or am I going to learn how to be faster, how to be smarter, and how to be more intelligent than anyone has ever been before? Dare to be more than just mediocrity. Dare to break those goddamn chains that bind you. Break the chains that bind you and make you be a way more better person than anyone has ever in their lives seen before. If they want you to be a monster, then be a better monster than they can be. Be the biggest, most terrifying monster you can ever be in your life. Because guess what? At the end of the day, they will respect you. They'll understand you. Because guess what? Madness is like gravity. All it needs is a little push, and off you go. Into the wild. Do you remember when we were primitive? When we didn't have much of a thinking process? What did we think about before? Back in the day. We thought of food, water, and survival, and nothing more. Whatever happened to those days? Huh? Whatever happened to those simplistic days that all we thought about was food, water, and survival? We didn't care about we didn't care about social acceptance. We didn't care about how we looked, how we dressed, what people we hung around with, what people we didn't hang around with. You know, nobody cared about that. Nobody did. All we cared about was food, water, survival. That's it. Three of the basic things. And yet we as human beings have forgotten that primal instinct, that raw power that all of us have locked away within ourselves. It's just that people are afraid to use it. They're afraid to acknowledge it. They're afraid to actually let it out and let it happen. Because for fear of what might happen if I, like, what would happen if I went wild? What would happen if I actually let loose and said, you know what? I'm going wild. I'm going to be myself, and I don't care what the rules are or the consequences. Has everybody done that before? Just all of a sudden gone wild. Gone back to their primal instincts, their primal thoughts. You know, the heck with what society is going to say or do. Because society is all made up of bullshit anyway. It's all made up of fabrications and lies that they keep piling on us day by day by day by day by day by day, and brainwashing society into thinking, oh, we need to do this. Oh, we need to do that. Since when? Since when do we have to conform to anything? Why? Why do we have to do it? Why? To maintain some kind of order, right? To maintain some kind of organization, right? What kind of order and organization is that when you are manipulated and controlled by something else? What kind of organization is that? Making someone else your puppet, or making someone else when you pull the strings, when you control what they're going to talk about, what they're not going to talk about, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, and blah, 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 blah. Since when are we considered robots? Since when are we considered basically not thinking for ourselves, not doing things for ourselves, not operating on an entirely, should I say, individual level? We think we're all free, but we're not. I see it every day, all the time. I've seen kingdoms rise, and I've seen kingdoms fall. Many, many people have tried to rule and been knocked off their chair quicker than you can say zippity doo dah. Society doesn't need a ruler. They need guidance. They need help. They need some form of structure, some form of, not a form of control, no less, but just a form of guidance. Just to advise, instead of telling people what to do, why not give them suggestions and let them choose their own adventure? But society would say, oh, we're free, we're free, we're free. Are you sure about that? Are you sure we're actually free? Or is that what you're brought up to think? Are we really actually free from everything? Now, yes, society has rules. Of course, the the rules are placed in the Bible. You're supposed to abide by the law. I get it. I get it. But since when do the rules of society play into the rules of the law? Since when does society determine what you're going to do and what you're not going to do? What you're going to say and what you're not going to say? Just think about the logic for a moment. Think about that for just a moment. Let that marinate in your brain for just a moment or so. Think about that. Society in general was born of chaos. There wasn't any rules before. We just made them up as we went along. We shouldn't do this, so let's vote that not to do this. We shouldn't do that. Well, let's vote not to do that. Well, you know what I think about voting? It's a very, very unfair business. It's a very unfair thing. And also, further, it is not 100% entirely accurate. Voting and all that kind of crap is just another form of control. It's another form of saying, you do what we say, you only vote for these people, and the hell with the rest. Right? Right? That's what it is. Because both sides have a single agenda, which is to funnel you and push you in to what they want you to do. And then when you've done it, then everybody else says, oh my God, what did I just do? Too late. It's already been done. Once the deed is done, it can never be undone. That's why it's very important in every form of life, every form of anything. Choose your paths and choose your options wisely. You see, that's the neat thing about me being how I am. You see, in a world of darkness, there are no rules. There are no guidelines. There are nothing. That's the neat thing about it. See, without rules and no guidelines, there's nowhere organization, right? Well, here's what I think about no rules and no guidelines and all that kind of thing. It's fair when it's run equally across the board. First rule number one, there is no rules. There is no guidelines. There is no fine lines and things like that that you're afraid to cross. No. Sometimes the fine lines need to be just wiped away. Just erased. Just for a moment. Think about it, a society that you could do whatever you want, whenever you want to do it. But here's the rule that stays almost 100% constant. And that's the rules of the world. And it's simple. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every movement, there's a consequence. For instance, it's cool having a society doing everything what you want. But it has to have some kind of rules. Me? I don't believe in rules. What do rules do? All they do is just complicate things more. They just make things more difficult. They just make things more harder to see. Imagine a world without rules, without guidelines, without anything, any type of a moral sense. Just pure instinct. Pure raw instinct. Can you imagine that? Think about that very carefully. See, being born in the darkness is not really all that bad. Best part about being born in the darkness is that you don't have to worry about the malarkey of normal society, because normal society does never apply. Why would you want to be a part of normal society that is built off of basically moralistic ideas that are not even your own, but somebody else's? And they're trying to push their ideas and their narratives and their agendas on you. And you know who suffers the worst from all this? It's the young people in the world. They suffer the most out of everything, because they take the brunt of everything that the older people do. Think about that. Think about that. Think about how chaos happens every single day. Think about how it occurs all the time.
Well,
Oh, society has a plan for all of us. But it's normally a plan to fail.
hoy no me pegues, mañana.
Let me tell us algo. You know, it's a normal plan for all of us to fail. for all of us to run down horribly. Because that's what they want. They want us to fail. They want us to just crash down horribly. Why? So that they can come in as our supposed saviors, smelling like a white mushroom. And it's true. These people with money, these people with supposed moralistic values, moralistic everything, they try and push their garbage on us because they think, oh, he could take it. Oh, it won't hurt him. Oh, it won't do nothing. Maybe it will. Maybe it will affect people. Maybe it will hurt people. But do they really care? Do they really have any empathy or feelings for us? No, they don't. That's why we build our own society. That's why we do our own thing. That's why we live away from the grid, off the grid, away from normal society and its normal rules. Do you ever know a reason why there's a lot of people that choose the streets over living in a nice home and a nice apartment and places? Do you ever wonder why they pick up drugs and do all this kind of thing? Do you ever wonder why? It's pretty simple. It's because they're tired of the way society has been treating them, and they're using it to cope with it. And that's proof positive alone. The world is due for a change. But the first thing we need to change is ourselves. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, like I said, being born in the darkness is not a curse. It's actually a blessing. And it's a shame that people don't understand it. Interesting. Hmm. Thank you. I'm glad people like my little speech. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and toddle off now because real life is calling and I have to answer. So you guys take care and I will see you on the next one. Deep inside the darkness.